Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we're taking a look at Studio Series number 33, Voyager class Bonecrusher, as featured in the first Transformers movie, as you can see right here. I think it's pretty cool they put the different logos for depending on which movie the character was featured in. I always like that about the packaging. Pretty cool artwork over here on this side of the box, although not really sure why it has the Autobot symbol. I don't know why they can't differentiate. Like, I've seen Constructicon symbols and Autobot symbols, but I've never seen a Decepticon symbol, and I don't know why they can't just do that. But in any case, you can see some cool artwork on this side as well. It says Voyager class down there. I know this is a bit of an older figure. I bought a bunch of stuff from Hasbro Pulse, I want to say probably at least 2 months ago at this point, and he just kind of got down to the bottom of the pile, and then some other stuff took priority. So I've been excited for this one though. I think he looks pretty cool. I didn't buy a Bonecrusher from when the first movie was out, I don't believe. Maybe like a Legends class, but I don't think I had a normal size Bonecrusher, so I'm pretty excited. He looks pretty good. You can see the robot mode, vehicle mode here on the packaging. So we'll go ahead, we'll get this guy out of the box, and let's take a closer look. Real quick, I wanted to show off the little diorama that comes in the box. I always think it's kind of neat that Studio Series includes these. It's kind of a little stand with like a little backdrop, which is kind of cool. For Bonecrusher, it is the iconic scene from the first movie where he fights Optimus Prime on the freeway, and it does not go so well for him. But very cool little backdrop there, and he looks really good in the space. He definitely fills it because he's a very wide robot, so he definitely fills up the space, but it looks really good. I like it a lot. Alright, so taking a closer look at Bonecrusher here, he's definitely not your conventional robot. Very short, very squat, but I kind of like it. It changes things up. I don't know why, but he's definitely reminding me of Tugmug. Does anyone remember Tugmug from Thundercats? He was one of the Lunatics. I think it has to do with like the way his feet are, but he's very short and squat, and he kind of has these like roller like tentacle feet. I don't know, it's just making me think of him. But anyway, he's very cool. He's definitely unconventional as far as the design, but like I said, I think that's interesting. I think it changes it up. I will say though that his legs don't stand very good. I mean, he doesn't fall over, but also the hips are a little loose on mine, so I feel like that coupled with the weird feet is not a great combo. But I love the short squat nature of the dude. He's just very cool. He's a little top heavy though, especially if you put the arms up like that. Let's take a close-up look at the head sculpt. He's got a very squashed face, but I kind of like it. I believe the eyes deep down in there are painted red, but it's very hard to see because they're very tiny, very beady little eyes. But it kind of suits the character. So the head does have kind of a swivel. You can see that there's like a metal pin right here, which will allow this to swivel back and forth. Shoulders have a spin here, out to the side. You have a bicep swivel here, as well as an elbow. You have some opening and closing kind of pincer claws, which can also move around a little bit. Not really anything in the waist. In the hip, you have out to the side, forward and back, thighs swivel there. You do have a knee joint. I guess that's pretty much it for articulation. And like I said, if you want to do any kind of, like with the hands, I just wanted to kind of be like, ah, ha, ha. Like, I just love these. Like, it's definitely like a throw your head back, maniacal laughter kind of pose that I feel like really suits this guy. I don't know why, I just love it. He can also be like, I once caught a fish this big. But he definitely has some pretty cool posability, and I like it very much for that aspect. There's also kind of a joint up here. Like, there's this part of the shoulder and this part of the shoulder, so you can get a little bit of stuff moving around in there. He's also got these weird, like, pincer claw things on the back. You can move this all around. There's definitely some play. There's point of articulation here, 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 here. I mean, this got joints all over the place. I wish these could have like a swivel so that they could come forward, but unfortunately you'd have to like lift this whole thing. So if you wanted to do something like that, you'd have to kind of like bring it down like this, which is okay, but now it just looks like Go-Go Gadget Helicopter. So I don't know. It's just not quite as good as I'd like it to be. But there is some movement. I guess you want to put this, I don't know. The other thing is there's a lot of weird hinges, like the hinges aren't all where you'd expect them to be, because there's like a hinge here and a swivel. So that's kind of your best point of movement, because this is just a swivel. There's no like other way swivel for that. This is just a swivel the one direction. Same with all of these. So I wish there were a couple more just, you know, swivels in both directions so you could really move that thing around a lot. There we go. So transformation for this guy is definitely interesting. The first thing you're going to do, kind of close up the claws if you have them open. You can position the arms in such a way that there's this joint here, but then you can also bend it down this way and then tuck this back up so that then it kind of sits flush like that. So take this and do that. Then you're going to rotate this up like this, and you can see that you're going to kind of bring these up so that they sit flush with this. Like that. You can kind of just bring these back to get them out of the way for now. These little pieces here will pop out, come up, and then close that up so that these kind of finish that up, and then you have what will be the two roof sections of the truck, I guess, for lack of a better term. You're going to bring this section down like this, and then you're going to see these two little hip pieces are going to flip inside like that. So you just go ahead and do that. And then there's like a weird crotch flap that you need to bring up as well. So there's that. This little piece on the inside of the foot will fold in. And this will come out to the side like that. So make sure that's all the way in. I guess you should do this piece first and then fold that in. Then you're going to, at this hinge right here, flip these in. Now they don't go like all the way down. Your instinct is to kind of keep pushing these in. These will stay at like a weird 45-degree angle. So just be aware of that. So this will fold in. And I forgot you have to rotate these 180 degrees. There we go. You want these like black pieces here on the outside. So rotate that around. And then just kind of straighten them as best you can. Like I said, these will not go all the way down, but these can kind of straighten. And you'll see that there's kind of a little tab here which can peg into the other weird toe foot piece. There we go. So then those should all be together like that. Now you're going to come up to the head. This whole section here will actually flip all the way down, and the head will kind of go into this cavity down here. So this will flip 180 like this, and then the arms will fold into, and I want to say be careful because this little tab here has to fit into this hole, and same with that one. And if you don't push hard enough, they won't go in and click, and then they won't like stay together. See how they'll keep trying to pop out? So you really have to make sure that that piece gets pushed in there. And it's a lot easier said than done, but you'll see that you'll start to push all these together. I think that's pretty good. And then you're going to come down here and you'll see that on the top of the little toe piece there's a tab right there, and that's going to fit into this gray piece. So you push that up just like that, and then this one will tab into this one here, and then you can go ahead and flip this up. This tab slot will peg onto this tab right here. And just be careful because you have to make sure that you can clear it because of the way these turn. So this piece here has to be able to clear when you turn this whole piece. So just be careful with that. Make sure, hold on, did that come unpegged? Yes, it did. There we go. That's pegged in, and now that clears, and then that clips on there. So then come back to this side, make sure this can clear, peg that in, straighten out the wheels. You can pretty much see the whole back of the truck now. You can push these down just like that. I feel like this is still not pegged all the way in. I'll have to mess with that, but basically it's just because that tab isn't pegged all the way in there. But then you're going to close this part up like that, and then you're basically done. You can come here to the capture claw, and it's really up to you what you want to do with it. If you want to leave it out like this in the front and have it look crazy and menacing, you can. The directions have you bring this up and kind of tab this all together. Though actually I guess you're supposed to turn these 180 degrees first. That way it'll all peg together, and then you can bring this around like this, and then it just kind of has you drop this down like that and just kind of have that on top. So that's, I don't have everything quite lined up. I'm gonna mess with this a little bit because I have it a little mistransformed, I'm sure, but this is basically it. Just have to sharp a couple things in this area here. Alright, I think I got it. You can see it's much better pegged in together up top there. So it's a cool little truck. You still have this giant shovel-y thing that's just all over the place. I almost wish you could just take it off and have him use it as a weapon or something, but it's just always connected. It still looks a little weird jumbled down here. I think because like every part of my being wants to flip this tire down to have 4 tires across, and it's not meant to do that. They're meant to just be up here, I guess, as extras. So yeah, I don't know. It's okay, but it does leave like this big empty space right here. And I know this is a weird thing to get upset about, but if you take a look at the windows, this window's painted, this window's painted, this window's painted, but this little sliver of window that's on the other piece is not painted. So just kind of a little unpainted piece of window hanging over there. Yeah, even the window in the back's painted. Like I like this area flat with the ladder over here. I think is some really nice detail. Makes it feel like it would be a vehicle that super tiny little people would pilot. I don't love this big open space right here. And the claw's okay, but in my opinion, it just kind of looks goofy. But overall, I think it definitely is a cool little truck. And I think the fact that that large, squat, wide, like robot mode turned into this very tiny, like thin truck. I think that's really impressive transforming engineering there. I think that's really impressive how you can take something so wide and squat and turn it into this really like long and thin truck. So very, very neat. But yeah, overall I think the paint applications for the windows look great. The tires look good. And I really like this back area with the ladder and that little bit of detailing. So it's a pretty cool little truck mode, I have to say. So I think Bonecrusher is fun. I really like the robot mode. I think the short squat aspect is definitely something a little different from the norm, which I appreciate. And I love the giant hands and the arms, and you can kind of give him that crazy, like, cackling mad scientist kind of pose, like just kind of leaning back and just kind of laughing at everything. I really love that aspect of it. The feet are not the best, but he doesn't fall over, so I guess all's well that ends well in that respect. The weird claws on the back, I wish had a little bit more functionality. I mean, you can move them around, but I just wish they had a couple more, like, hinge points or swivel points, just so you could get a little bit better posing out of them. But ultimately, I do like the robot mode. I like this little short, squat face, the kind of pushed-in face. It reminds me of, like, a bulldog or something like that. The vehicle mode is neat. I think it's neat how you can go from this to that really long, thin vehicle mode. Getting from A to B is not the best. And then you'll be shocked to find out that the Hasbro directions are not really that great. I know, I'll give you a minute to compose yourself after that crazy revelation. But seriously, I think there's fun to be had here. It just takes a couple times of transforming him back and forth to get the hang of him. But then I think the robot mode's really neat. I think the vehicle mode is neat. It's just getting from A to B that can be somewhat problematic at first. And unfortunately, the hips on mine are kind of loose, and the more I've been transforming them, the looser they've gotten, so that's not really great either. But I have to say, as far as paint applications, articulation, things like that, Bonecrusher is pretty fun, and I definitely think he's worth picking up. He just needs a little bit of time to master him. But yeah, overall, I definitely think he's a lot of fun. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.